Wow, this is different. Usually in the back working a soundboard or running this thing. I run the sound equipment for the past 3 musicals the school has put on, and they're usually smart enough not to let me say anything. I remember the last performance of Joseph this year, when Mr. Glover recognized the seniors after the show. I was on stage and Grant turned to me, pointed at the crowd and said, "So this is what it looks like." This is a similar experience, but even more so because I didn't set any of this up. First, I'd like to thank everyone who has helped me in my journey through school. I'd like to thank all my teachers, coaches, friends, relatives, and mentors, especially those that fit into more than one of those categories. Most of all, I would like to thank my parents for putting up with my often crazy schedules and the mess in the basement around Science Olympiad time. They have helped me in more ways than I probably realize. Thank you. I've had many memorable experiences throughout the last 4 years, like winning states in cross country and everything that went with that, the movie night at our house and Spaghetti Warehouse, not to mention the countless meets we had. Speaking of meets, the past 4 years can be compared to the mile race and track. For those who may not know, the mile is a race consisting of 4 laps of the track. Each year of high school can be compared with the lap of the race. Freshman year is like the first lap. You're excited to be in the high school at last. A lot of things happen in the first lap of the mile. When the gun goes off, everyone takes off, all trying to get ahead of everyone else before the pack narrows down to the first lane near the end of the first lap. After freshman year, things start to settle down as you get into the routine of high school. The second lap of the mile is similar. Most runners settle into the pace that they will hold for most of the race. In the sophomore and junior years, there are a few things that will happen out of the ordinary, but for the most part, everything is routine. Meanwhile, in the middle 2 laps of the race, a few runners pass each other, but mostly everyone just keeps their places. Toward the end of lap 3, runners begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of times this is helped by a gunshot or bell signaling that the first runner has begun their last lap. This is like the beginning of senior year, when students realize that their last year of high school has begun. Most at this point try to make the most of the year they have remaining. On the other hand, some only see the end of schoolwork and can't wait to get there. Of these, some decide to call it quits before they even make it to the end. Likewise, in the race, most runners pick up the pace for the last lap, now trying to catch that runner who has been just out of reach for most of the race. Especially in the last quarter of the last lap, most run as fast as they possibly can to get to the finish line. Some less conditioned runners find that they have started the race running too fast, and now cannot hold even the pace they started with. But they still finish. Occasionally, a runner will find that they started too fast and are so out of shape they just can't finish that last lap. Here, we find ourselves at the finish line. We're all tired after the race. Most people who run the mile also run the 2 mile, however, so enjoy the rest while you can, because it isn't that much time before you'll have to run all over again. Good luck whenever and wherever that next race may be.